Rio de Janeiro. Leonardo Santos is not happy that Kevin Lee is fighting for the UFC interim lightweight championship. Lee faces Tony Ferguson for the interim belt at UFC 216 on October 7 in Las Vegas, and Santos, who is unbeaten inside the octagon, including a first-round knockout over the Motown phenom in December 2015, is upset that he can't even get a fight booked. Santos hasn't fought since October 2016, when he defeated Adriano Martins by split decision at UFC 204. He was scheduled to meet Olivier Aubin-Mercier at the UFC 212 card in Rio de Janeiro last June, but his opponent pulled out with an injury. The promotion tried to find a replacement but ended up removing him from the card. The UFC promised the Brazilian a fight in July, he says, but it never happened. Almost 3 months later, Santos is still waiting for a call. "The UFC is fing me up," Santos said with a laugh. "I want to fight this year, for the love of God, or I'll be broke. I have lots of bills to pay, I have to feed my kids. I have to fight, especially after doing a 3-month camp and not getting paid anything, so I want to fight." The 37-year-old Nova União talent has a 401 UFC record in the lightweight division since winning the Ultimate Fighter Brazil to as a welterweight. He expects to be back in action in November or December, and is not considering taking fights on short notice right now. "Why would I do that? It's not time to do that," Santos said. "I'm undefeated in the UFC, I'm going after the top 10. The guy the first knocked out is fighting for the interim title, so I'm in a good place to come back. The UFC has to give me a good opportunity and a good fight, that's all I ask." Lee won 5 in a row with 4 stoppages after losing to the Brazilian in 2015, but Santos questions the UFC's decisions and rankings. "I'll be honest, he has his merits, but it's a joke that he's fighting for the interim belt," Santos said. "I have 5 wins in the UFC, I'm undefeated, and they didn't even put me against a top 10 opponent. People say, oh, he fought more than you. Okay, but after we fought he fought 3 times and entered the top 10. Massaranduba Francisco Trinaldo won 7 in a row and he was number 12. It's a joke. When they want to put someone up there in the rankings, they do it and F it. His merits, he won the fights, congratulations, but I deserve to be in the top 10 and fighting a top 10 guy." In fact, Santos was upset that Lee got to fight Michael Chiesa in June when he was publicly calling out his fellow tough winner long before. "I called Chiesa out, and the UFC said he already had a fight booked, so that didn't happen," Santos said. 3 weeks after Kevin Lee fought Massaranduba they booked that fight. "What the F? I can't understand that. They are protecting the fighters, that's the truth. I'm waiting, asking for a top 10 for years, and they don't make it happen." Asked why the UFC doesn't treat him as they treat Lee, Santos has no answer for it. "You have to ask them," he said. "People usually say that Brazilians don't speak English, but I speak English. There's no excuse, there's nothing to say. They say, oh, Leo, you don't fight that often. Bullshit. I Quinta didn't fight for 2 years and was top 10 for a long time. Gilbert Melendez too. That's bullshit.